I never imagined that the phrase "we need to talk" could carry such galactic consequences. My name's Ethan Ross, Earthborn, 32. Former botanist turned xenocultural diplomat for the Intergalactic Peace Federation. I've lived a fairly normal life, if you call negotiating water-sharing treaties with six-limbed squids on moons of Ganymede normal. But everything changed when I met Zerali. She wasn't just any alien. She was Vorthari, regal, luminous, and frighteningly persuasive. A matriarchal species with bioorganic armor and wings of bioluminescent feathers that shimmered with emotion. Her people had long distrusted humans, until one of them, Zerali, fell in love with me. We met during a diplomatic summit between Earth and the Vorthari colonies. She was the delegation's lead matron, towering and fierce. I was the Earth rep who tripped over his own translator unit trying to pronounce her name. She laughed. I made her laugh. And from that moment everything spiraled into dates under violet skies, dancing in low gravity, learning to ride air beasts together, and finally, her proposal. She proposed. In Vorthari culture, it's the female who chooses, and I was her choice. The wedding was unlike anything humans had seen. Giant floating lotus orbs, echoing sky chants, pheromone clouds swirling with ancient vows. And at the end of the ceremony, she pressed her forehead to mine and whispered, "Our lineage begins now." I smiled stupidly and said, "One healthy child would be amazing." She froze. Then she pulled back, eyes glowing a dangerous blue. "One," she said, as if I'd just declared war. "Ethan. Just one." And blinked. "Yeah. I mean, we start small, right? Ease into it." "No," she said, voice low and deadly serious. 10. 10 what? 10 children, Ethan. Minimum. My clutchmates had 13. My cousin laid 17 eggs in her first cycle. You will give me at least 10. There is no room for negotiation. I laughed. I didn't. That night I slept alone. The negotiations begin. "You're being unreasonable," I yelled, dodging a throne vase, made of levitating crystal, naturally. "You promised to honor our culture," she shouted, wings flaring out like a thunderstorm made flesh. "I am of royal descent, Ethan. My bloodline must be strong. Strong doesn't mean overwhelming. We're not breeding an army." Her wings folded tightly behind her back. Her voice dropped to an icy calm. "You are lucky I find you beautiful, Ethan. But beauty alone won't sustain the legacy I must build." I groaned. "Legacy? Zerali, I thought we were building a life, not a colony." That earned me a death stare and a slammed door. Thus began the Cold Womb War of 2137. We didn't talk for days. Well, we tried not to. But space station apartments don't exactly offer a lot of privacy. I'd be brushing my teeth while she practiced ceremonial war chants in the shower. Passive aggression reached new heights. She started humming fertility hymns whenever I walked into a room. I retaliated by binge-watching Earth soap operas with the volume turned up. But despite the tension, I still loved her. Deeply. Maybe too deeply. Because a week later, I agreed to accompany her to her homeworld, Vorthuan, to reconnect with her heritage. Big mistake. Arrival on Vorthuan. Pressure cranked to 11. We landed on Vorthuan beneath blood-red skies and forests that hummed in response to emotion. Her family greeted us like royalty because they were. Turns out, Zerali was third in line for her planetary matronship. And everyone wanted to see her human husband. I was paraded through ceremonies, fed a dozen fertility-boosting dishes, some of which wiggled, and slept in a golden egg-shaped pod that moaned lullabies. Every relative we met had one question. So, when will the first 10 arrive? When I answered, we're still discussing, their faces twisted like I had just sneezed on an altar. Zerali's mother, the high matron herself, pulled me aside after a feast. You are fond of Zerali. More than anything, I said honestly. Then prove it, she said. Give her the brood she deserves. Our family line is sacred. You are part of it now. Act like it. I nodded politely, then nearly choked on my spicy spirit fruit wine. Later that night, Zerali confronted me on a floating terrace under twin moons. I know it's a lot, she said softly. But this is who I am. My legacy matters. My people expect it. I looked into her glowing eyes and took her hand. I'll give you 2. And we can see how that goes. She hissed. 8 more. 4. 7. 3. He paused. 5. That's my final offer. He sighed. Fine. 5. But no instant batch. 1 at a time. You're lucky I find your stubbornness charming, she muttered. Pregnancy, alien style. Here's something I didn't know about Vorthari pregnancy. It's not 9 months. It's 9 days. Her people gestate using hyper-accelerated cellular matrices, powered by internal energy coils. Don't ask, it involves quantum biology and bioluminescent glands. We didn't need hospitals. We needed a nesting temple. I watched in awe and mild panic, as Zerali's stomach glowed faintly, signaling embryonic development. On day 6, she developed iridescent marks on her wings, an ancient sign of healthy growth. On day 9 she gave birth. Not in pain but in song. Our daughter, whom she named Kirathun, emerged in a soft cocoon that disintegrated seconds later. She had my eyes. Zerali's wings. A tiny mix of earth and stars. I wept. But I also realized we had agreed to 4 more. Parenthood and reluctant compromise. Raising half-human, half-Vorthari children is chaos. They're born with instincts to fly by week 2. They emit pheromones that confuse our robotic housekeeper. They molt every 30 days, leaving behind enough feathers to stuff a king-sized pillow. But they're beautiful. And Zerali was transformed. She glowed literally and metaphorically. Watching her hold Kira was like watching a goddess find her purpose. She didn't push for the next one immediately. She let me breathe, let us grow together as a trio. But on Kira's second molt, she looked at me with gleaming eyes. It's time. Middle chaos. Multiplication mayhem. Over the next 2 years we had 4 more children, each more unique than the last. Ravithor had wings like fire and an obsession with earth jelly beans. Selnari could mimic any sound she heard, once copying my entire diplomatic speech mid-conference. Yenka floated in her sleep, prompting nightly sealing rescues. Danielon, our last, hatched early and demanded to be held by both of us at once for days. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. But I was happy. Until Zerali came to me, brushing my hair back as I napped on the couch. I've been thinking, she said. No, I groaned without opening my eyes. But, no, we agreed. 5. But Ethan, look at them. Her voice turned misty. They need more. Big clutch. Full ring. We could. I sat up puffy-eyed. Zerali, if I give you more, I will need a cloning facility. He grinned. I can arrange that. He stared. You're serious. Always, she said proudly. Ending. Resolution and legacy. I didn't give her 10. I gave her 7. No. I lost the battle. But I won something better. A bond that transcended species, expectation, and biology. Our children are now a symbol of unity. Half of them train in Vorthery Sky Academies. The others study Earth diplomacy. Kira wants to be a pilot. Danielun draws pictures of her big weird Earth dad and pastes them on the temple walls.